Welcome back to another Borderlands content video. I am O'Price of Nerdy Dude Stuff. Just a reminder, 4,000 subs equals a 2 power level giveaway. We are currently at 3,984. Based on yesterday's video, we had 38 unique comments for our Rough Rider, a Roid Rough Rider shield giveaway. We're giving away 5 Rough Rider shields. Congratulations to Shannon S917-S276, Soul Toast Oasted, Blade Whisper, King_Jotro, and Trevor Sodergren. I do need your PSN, so make sure you send that to me as soon as you can. For the next video giveaway, we are giving away this beautiful cash-infused Brainstormer. On action skill, weapon status effect, and damage and chance are increased by 75%. Look at that beautiful anointment. Level 50 stats are on the screen. All you have to do is be a subscriber, like the video, leave a comment with your PlayStation Network ID, and you will have a chance to win one of 3 of these bad boys. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today we are going to look at Amara and to see if she is still as overpowered as she used to be. She has gone through 2 nerfs, and we are going to showcase that those nerfs did not work. We are just, in no particular order, going to head down to Athena's just to get to an area where we can spawn some guys to show the power that Amara still has. The most recent patch previously patched the recursion, the projectile recursion with her skill Indiscriminate to minimize how many projectiles were coming out of enemies or the gun when it was being fired. But that most certainly did not, it fixed a little bit, just a little tiny bit, like it's noticeable, but it did not fix everything perfectly. So what we're going to do here in just a moment is we are going to fight a group of enemies. I'm going to show you the recursion without using my action skill, so none of the bonuses and the anointments trigger, and then I'm going to activate my action skill to show you the difference. When you notice I shoot regular no action skill, you get the projectiles and they bounce around. It does solid damage, not too bad. But when we pop off this bad boy, boom, we clear out the area. So let's break down why exactly this happens. We are going to reload the area and do a detailed look at everything. Don't worry, I will show the build I am using for this video a little bit later, so that way if you're building Amara, you can copy this as well as we solo the Maliwan Takedown. Anyway, we're going to go and we're going to take off our shield and take off our grenade. They have those anointments where on action skill end, they will trigger the additional elemental damage. And we have found that this has been causing that additional ricocheting bullet witch. I think it's ricochet witch is what we call Amara. So we're going to go into combat with the same group of enemies. They're going to spawn, and we're going to showcase that we are able to shoot them, and we're able to use our action skill. We are not getting any bonuses or from any anointments, and this is just a regular gun. Still does pretty solid damage. Still does decent damage to the enemies, so it's very viable when it comes to groups. It's just you're not seeing that instant screen explosion. So we're going to shoot him here, and I'm going to try to capture in photo mode a projectile bouncing off of this enemy. I don't think I got it here, but you're going to see one projectile bouncing off of this enemy, and this is important to know for when we equip our grenade and our shield. So here we go. We pop off the shot. Let's get in here real quick. All right, just figuring out the controls. Boom. So there we go. We have the one projectile bouncing back, and that's important to remember. So that projectile is going to go back and forth between enemies, but we're not getting that big explosion. So let's go ahead and see what causes that explosion. Now that we have a fresh run going, we are going to re-equip our shield and re-equip our grenade that have that bonus, additional bonus damage on action skill end. It's got that anointment. Now this works better if you have, like, I have the recursion with corrosive damage, and I believe my transformer has corrosive damage and my grenade has incendiary damage. I do have a grenade with radiation damage. Yeah, so it's got the corrosive damage. This would work even better if I could find a transformer, or if I could find a shock recursion or a different elemental damage. But with the setup that I have here, in a combination with my spiritual driver and all that stuff, when we pull the trigger and when we hit an enemy, for each additional bonus, like, so if I had shock on my shield, we would also be spawning a shock projectile. But for each additional bonus that we have on Action School End, it's going to cause that explosive reaction, that huge amounts of damage. Like, look at that. We just wiped out that entire group. We're going to run up here. We're going to let some enemies spawn. We're going to fire off with our grenade and our shield damage, and boom, everything gets wiped out. So patching the indiscriminate, or nerfing or whatever, patching and nerfing the indiscriminate skill didn't really fix what I didn't think was, I mean, it's a little broken, but it made it a little bit more or less not as broken or overpowered. But with those items equipped, and I don't think we're going to be able to get a projectile demonstration here on this enemy. I'm trying really hard, but fixing it didn't really necessarily fix it. Amara is still bonkers. So we're going to do some footage from the Maliwan Takedown. We are going to be on Mayhem 4, and we are soloing it. And right now it's still in the difficulty as if there's 4 players running it. But you're going to see that, yes, it's not as explosive as it used to be, but soloing Maliwan Takedown and solo Amara and the Ricochet Witch is still a thing. Now, you can build your Amara pretty much, you want to copy most of my build here. There's about 98% of it that you're going to want to do the same, and then there's about 3 or 4 skill points you can use loosely based on your personal preference in the Mystical Assault tree. But mostly, you're going to want to do Phase Grasp because you want your action skill end and you're never going to catch. So what I do is I put 5 over here in Anima, and then I do 5 over here in Infusion. We do 5 in Tempest. We then do 1 in our Dread. We do 3 in Indiscriminate. We do 1 in Deep Well, we do 5 in Sustain, and then we do 1 in Forceful Expression. We only do 1 over here in Do Harm, 1 in Violent Tapestry. I think I did a couple in Restless. We do Root to Rise, Personal Space, 2 in Clarity, 2 in Helping Hands, 3 in Mindfulness, and that should round out all the skills. And then I usually play with the Shock Elemental damage, so I don't have any action skill or element over on the actual ability itself. So, and of course, here's our spiritual driver with the benefits and stats that gives us. I really like that for our mindfulness because that increases our move speed and all that jazz that makes us so much better. So we are going to do some Maliwan Takedown, and you're going to really be able to see the power of this build. Amara took a DNA test, and she is 100% still dad bitch. You're going to see here that this setup still wrecks face. Now, I personally, if I had a shock recursion or maybe a different element on my Transformer shield, would be wrecking even more face. But this is still a very viable build. Not much has changed. If you go into this, the Maliwan Takedown on Mayhem 4 with Amara, I would probably recommend just making sure you bring yourself a Cutsman, preferably of the corrosive variety, just to help you with the very last fight of Wu-Tan. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to show the entire Maliwan Takedown run, but I am going to get up to a good point with the Valkyries, and you're just seeing here that we are melting with this build. Now, I also could probably benefit from a recursion that's got 100% weapon damage on action skill end, but I don't have that. I mean, we are just in the thick of things. We are up in everyone's business. We are wrecking face. The Kraken comes out. The Kraken was no problem. I don't even stop to take time to see what loot he's got. We just melted through this. So the only problem I probably would say I found with these patches and these updates to this build is that your ammo runs out a little quicker than normal just because you're making up for the smidge of damage that they removed. So with that said, go ahead and we're going to fight these Valkyries. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget, we are giving away that beautiful Brainstormer on the next video. Just make sure, I think we're doing, what, 3 of them? Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, you like this video, and you leave a comment with your PlayStation Network ID. Oh, and just also to talk about the Valkyrie fight real quick. This weapon, the recursion build, make sure you have enemies. If there's not a whole bunch of enemies around, you see me not killing anybody right now because I'm waiting for the Valkyrie to come down, but make sure you have enemies. That way you get that ricochet damage like crazy. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video.